Blue whales. The epic story of an ocean giant. Deep beneath the sea, in places where sunlight never reaches, a colossal creature moves in silence. The blue whale, the largest and most powerful animal on Earth, is where the ocean's vastness meets its deepest mystery. Its birth, its lonely migrations, its overwhelming size, and its quiet endurance, all of it tells a story that feels almost ancient. There is something primal about its presence, as if the whale carries a force of nature older than memory itself. Very few people have ever seen one up close, and those who have often describe the experience the same way: unreal, overwhelming, almost impossible to put into words. And now, this incredible giant faces a new challenge: survival. So let's dive into the hidden world of the biggest animal ever known and follow the story of its endless journey. Picture this: an 8-story building drifting through the deep blue sea. That's the kind of scale we're talking about. The blue whale is not just big, it's astonishing. A living giant in a world so vast that even nature itself seems to step aside. These animals can grow anywhere from 80 to 120 feet long and weigh as much as 150 tons. The largest blue whale ever recorded measured around 127 feet, longer than a Boeing 707. If you were to see one rise to the ocean's surface, it would feel like watching a skyscraper emerge from the darkness, only to slip back beneath the waves moments later. Every part of the blue whale's body tells a story of power and evolution. Its tongue alone can weigh as much as an elephant. Its muscles are so strong that even a slight movement can displace thousands of gallons of water. Inside its chest is a heart roughly the size of a small motorcycle, or even a piano. And its skull is so massive it could fill an entire room, protecting a brain that still holds mysteries we barely understand. Far below the surface, where darkness swallows almost everything, the blue whale announces itself in a different way, through sound. Its calls echo through the deep in long, low, haunting notes. These aren't just noises. They're powerful musical signals that can travel for thousands of miles through the ocean. Some of these sounds reach around 188 decibels, louder than a jet engine. Out there in the black water, a blue whale's voice can feel like distant thunder rolling through the sea. And then there are the songs. Blue whales produce patterns of sound that drift silently across the ocean, like hidden music in the dark. What those songs really mean, though, is still a mystery. It's one more secret that the deep has refused to give up. Now here's something wild. Despite being the biggest animals on Earth, blue whales don't have teeth. Instead, hanging from their upper jaws are comb-like plates called baleen. These fibrous structures act like giant filters. The whale surges forward, takes in an enormous mouthful of water, and then forces the water back out, trapping its prey inside. And what does an animal this gigantic eat? Tiny crustaceans are called krill. That's right. one of the largest creatures ever to live, survives mostly on animals smaller than your fingernail. But don't let their size fool you. Blue whales eat staggering amounts of them. A single whale can consume roughly 40 million krill in a day, the equivalent of several tons of food. It's an almost unbelievable process. The whale opens its massive mouth, water rushes in, and entire swarms of krill are swept inside in one dramatic motion. In a matter of seconds, the ocean becomes a buffet for a giant. But if blue whales have no teeth, how do scientists figure out how old they are? The answer is surprisingly strange. Earwax. Yes, really. Researchers have found that blue whales build up layers of wax inside their ears over time. Much like the growth rings of a tree, those layers can reveal the whale's age. Each one marks another stretch of life, another season of migration, survival, and movement across the world's oceans. Hidden inside that wax is the living timeline of a giant's journey. In the cold darkness of the sea, a giant is born. But this is no ordinary newborn. At birth, a blue whale calf can already measure around 26 feet long, longer than most great white sharks. Within its first days of life, it can weigh close to 3 tons. From the very beginning, its arrival is a reminder of nature's raw, unstoppable force. And its growth is nothing short of insane. A newborn calf drinks around 150 gallons of rich, fatty milk every single day. That dense milk fuels explosive growth, allowing the calf to gain nearly 200 pounds daily. Day by day, it transforms into one of the most massive animals the planet has ever seen. Blue whales are also different from many of their more social whale relatives. They are, for the most part, solitary travelers, wandering the ocean like silent nomads. They seem to prefer distance, moving through the vast open sea alone, suspended in a kind of quiet isolation. That said, they do sometimes come together, especially where food is abundant. In rich feeding grounds, several blue whales may gather in the same region, their enormous bodies moving through dense clouds of krill. Even then, though, they rarely seem truly social. They remain spaced apart, communicating only briefly, almost like strangers crossing paths in a world too big to belong to anyone. The ocean, however, is no gentle home. It steals heat fast, far faster than air ever could. In freezing water, survival depends on insulation, and blue whales have the perfect defense: blubber. This thick layer of fat can make up as much as 27% of the whale's total body weight. It acts like a thermal shield, locking in body heat and protecting the animal against the brutal cold of the open sea. Without it, a creature this large could never survive in such extreme waters. It's one of nature's most brilliant designs, a biological fortress built for life deep. For an animal this massive, blue whales have very few natural enemies. One of the only predators capable of challenging them is the orca, the killer whale. Intelligent, fast, and highly coordinated, orcas may attack a blue whale's weaker areas, especially the fins and flanks. The scars from those battles can remain etched into the whale's skin, a brutal reminder that even giants are not untouchable. But as dangerous as orcas may be, the blue whale's greatest threat does not come from the sea. It comes from us. Unlike land mammals, blue whales can't afford the luxury of falling into a deep, motionless sleep. If they stop swimming for too long, they risk losing the rhythm they need to breathe. So instead, they do something remarkable. They sleep with only half of their brain at a time. One half remains awake and alert, guiding movement and surfacing for air, while the other half rests. Half asleep, half aware, the whale continues its slow journey through the ocean, without ever fully shutting down. It's a finely tuned survival system, one that has helped keep these giants alive for millions of years. They were among the true rulers of the seas, present across vast stretches of the planet's waters. There was a time when blue whales moved freely through nearly every major ocean on Earth. Then came the 20th century. With the invention of explosive harpoons and the rise of industrial whaling, blue whales were pushed to the brink. Their numbers collapsed by as much as 99%. In just a few generations, one of the greatest animals ever to live was driven toward extinction. By the 1970s, hope finally began to appear. Commercial whaling was banned, giving blue whales a chance, maybe their last real chance, to recover. But even now, their future remains fragile. Today, only around 5,000 to 15,000 blue whales are believed to survive in the world's oceans. For a creature so enormous, their hold onto the future is still heartbreakingly thin. To encounter a blue whale is to come face to face with history itself. It is a living monument, an animal that has outlasted empires, crossed entire oceans, sung through the ages, and endured both natural destruction and human cruelty. These silent giants drift through the sea like guardians from another world, reminding us how beautiful, powerful, and fragile life on Earth can be. They are the fading whispers of an older age. And now the question is ours to answer. Will we let them disappear into history? Or will we fight to make sure these ancient giants remain part of our oceans for generations to come? The answer is in our hands. If you enjoy exploring mysterious and fascinating topics like this, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share it with others. And if there's a subject you'd love to see covered next, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.